今回のテーマは Customer。お客さんという意味になりますね。Customer、日本語にもなってますよね。カスタマーサービス、カスタマーサポート、カスタマーレビュー、カスタマーエクスペリエンス。すごいですね。日本語が英語になっちゃうかもしれません。仕事がなくなるかな。ご存知の通り、Customer イコールお客さん。何かのサービスを受ける人ですね。しかし、そんなに簡単ではないです。ニュアンス的な部分がたくさんありますからね。例えば最近流行りの言葉、カスハラ、カスタマーハラスメントと言いますよね。もう最近話題にはなってますよね。どうしましょう。最近何でもなんとかハラつけちゃいますね。どうするこれから腹立つ。でも実は英語だと Customer Harassment と言えないです。残念ながら和製英語です。英語だと Customer Misconduct、 それか Customer Abuse と言いますね。この間うちの生徒さんから聞きました。マヨハラご存知ですか？マヨハラってマヨネーズが嫌いな人がお店に入って食べ物を頼んで、そしたらその食べ物が来てマヨネーズがついてる。それはマヨハラというらしいですよ。面白いですね。So let's take a deep dive and see the different ways we can talk about this topic. We'll look at the problem, the reason, the solution, and some example sentences. And we're starting now. First, let's look at the problem. You can stay in my customer room. You can stay in my customer room. Looking at how this sentence has been put together, as is usually the case with these kinds of things, it's a perfectly good sentence. Nothing untoward about it at all. Using customer in a situation like this makes me think of all kinds of things. It makes my mind wander to places it probably shouldn't be wandering to. So, tell me more about your new house. Well, we're still in the planning process. I remember that from when we had our house built. Yeah, it takes up most of our weekends. Not to worry, it'll all be finalized soon, right? Yeah, just another couple of meetings. What's the thing that you're happy about most with the design? We're gonna have a customer room. A customer room? Well, it's mainly my wife who wanted it. Your wife wants a customer room? Yes, with space for a couple of beds. Maybe even three. 3 beds? She can't wait to get people in those 3 beds. 3 customers. And you're okay with that? Absolutely. A happy wife is a happy life. Well, that story was starting to get a wee bit out of hand. Could you read between the lines as to what I was trying to say? A bit racy, I know, but that's just how it sounds. So the word customer is only used for business. The customer pays money in order to receive a service. If we look closely at the traditional meaning of the word custom, it means to have people come to your business. In short, to pay you money. We get a lot of custom from overseas tourists. Times are hard. I don't get as much custom as I used to. Probably most people in Japan are more familiar with the other meaning of custom. All these meanings. But that's a whole nother story. You can also see it being used in the airport, in the customs control area. This is where they try to take your money in the form of tax. You have to pay customs on it. So, if you have customers coming to your house, it sounds like they're paying you money in return for some kind of service. Now, if you do have some kind of service like a nail salon, a hair salon, a music school, a massage service, or a pet grooming service, the people who come are all customers. They pay money. In that case, no problem. But if it's just a friend, a relative, or a neighbor, then we can't use the word customer. Customer is the very general name for people receiving a service. But depending on the place, we use different expressions. On transportation, like an airplane, a ship, a bus, or a train, we say passenger. In hospitals and dentists, we say patients. In education, we usually say students. But in the UK, we sometimes say pupils. There are also other words like clients, patrons, consumers, users, members, participants, and subscribers. How about the word guest? Well, this is a very special word. When we compare the words customer and guest, guest sounds so much more special. It's almost like a magical word. And that's the reason why the Walt Disney Company never calls the people who come to their magical theme parks all over the world customers. The word customer sounds too money-orientated. When you go to Disney, you are a guest. It sounds so much nicer. So we've learned that you can't use the word customer for friends that come to your house. It involves money. Here are the 3 best ways to say it. Guests, visitors, people. When talking about the bedroom, we can say a guest room or a guest bedroom. You can stay in our guest room. We can also say a spare room or a spare bedroom. If you have children who've already moved out, you can say, my son's old bedroom, my daughter's old room, the bedroom that my son used to use. Now, here's a key point when talking about the length of stay. It's usually said in terms of nights. I often hear beginners using stay as a noun. They usually say something like, one stay. But stay is more often used as a verb. I stayed overnight. We stayed for 3 nights. An example of a conversation could be something like this.
We'd better get going.
So soon?
I'm sure you must be getting sick of us.
Not at all. Why don't you guys stay the night?
You sure? We don't want to put you out.
We've got plenty of space.
That'd be great. Thanks.
You guys can stay in Brian's old room.
That's very kind of you.
Well, how about another glass of wine?
Don't mind if I do.
2 good phrases for this situation are stay the night or spend the night. Now, if you're having a dinner party, it's very common to say have people over, have friends over for a barbecue, have friends round for a few drinks. We'll have to have you over sometime. Why don't you guys come over for dinner? There is one expression that always sounds funny to me. Home party. Of course, it can be understood, but most native speakers would probably just say a party. We're having a party at my house. We just love having dinner parties. It's also common to say entertain in this situation. Now, I don't mean to put on a song and a dance, not that kind of entertainment. I just mean having friends over for dinner or drinks. My wife and I love entertaining. We've got some relatives coming in from out of town, so I'll have to make up the guest rooms. This is a particularly American expression, coming in from out of town. People often use it for when people are coming a long way to visit you. coming in from out of town.
Did you get in touch with customer service?
Yeah, but they had me on hold for like 45 minutes and then I couldn't understand their accent. So this has happened to me numerous times. You phone up the call center and they put you on hold for like an eternity, and then when they do actually talk to you on the phone, they have like such a strong Indian accent or something, it's really difficult to communicate. You're very welcome to spend the night. We've got loads of room now that the kids have gone. When we talk about room in this case, we're not actually talking about an actual room. We're using room to talk about space, like a really big house. When you're a guest in my house, just remember, mi casa su casa. Even although this is a Spanish expression, a lot of English speakers say mi casa su casa, which means to please relax like it's your own home. It's a lovely expression. We're thinking about turning the old barn into a guest cottage for when relatives come to stay. If you have plenty of money, some people actually build a guest cottage on their property. This lets their guests relax like they're on vacation. A barn is a farm building often used for keeping animals in the winter or stacks of hay. 例えば最近流行りの言葉、カスハラ。例えばね、最近流行りの言葉。例えばね、最近流行り